Come on, that's all they wanted, Torch. Tell them what that was right there, Torch, real quick. Everybody in the room is looking at me like, what is this?
That was Eric Benét live in the studio in 2012.
Bro,
with us.
You came on this show in 2012.
That was 2012?
I wanted to dig in the crate for you. Hey, we've been doing this a long time.
It goes way further back than 2012.
It goes way further back, but I just want you to see how long we've been rocking, homie. So when I see you, and you go, man, thanks, Sway, man. Hey, man, you said you was going to do it.
I know it.
And I always tell you I fuck with you, bro.
Well, you know, it's the thing about, it's real folks like you that make people, because, you know, we kind of get used to people bullshitting. And it's like, oh, yeah, Sway is for real.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm going to have you on the show, whoop, whoop. You'd be like, okay. But you know.
Man.
Yeah, your family, man. Appreciate it.
But I'll say this, though, is I think people like you for this music business is needed. We tend to put the business in front of the music.
Yeah,
that's
bro.
understandable because we've been raped and pillaged of our IP for so many years.
Come on, man.
It's important that we know the business, but some people forget about the music.
Yes.
Right? And there will be no business if it's not for the music.
Thank
so
you for saying
folks who write songs, folks who produce songs, folks who play instruments, folks who entertain on stage, who have a great stage presence, people like you are necessary. You know, right now they'll replace you with an AI persona.
Just like that.
Just like that. And that'll be void of the soul that is necessary to fuel this thing we call the music business. So I'm always going to stand next to you. Eric Benét is in here, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Give it up for Eric Benét. Wow. Come on, he got the new album, the duet album, the Co-Star. Come on, Alex Isley, Guapole from the Bay Area. She's on the Shantae Moore, Corinne Bailey. Come on, Corinne Bailey Ray, India Irie is on there. Come on, man. Autumn Paige. Come on, Joloni is on there. Come on, they're all on there, Mike Muse.
All of them.
All on there. All of them.
Whoa. How did we pull that off?
I don't know, man.
How did we pull that shit off?
What a great project, man.
Thank you.
What a great project. And that was Ari Lennox on it. And he didn't come along. You know, I've been a man of my word to that young man that you brought with you.
Absolutely.
Sway is a real one.
Yeah.
A realist.
Met that dude in the airport, and we tell his story twice at the airport. And I said, man, I want to have you on the show. And he was like, shit, here we go, another promise. Another empty promise. And I was like, he's going to learn.
No, I believed you.
I
believed you because I met you with Brian. If I met you alone, I wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah, well, Brian Sampson is here.
I met you with the
Brian
OGs.
Sampson's a legend.
I hope to carry him a little more pull.
No, well, you know, what I do is I say these things, and I do my research, and I went back and listened to a couple of your projects and made sure that I watched your evolution, who you are as a singer, as a songwriter, and I enjoyed it. And I feel like, man, we have a large audience on this show.
Wow.
Larger than we ever anticipated, you know, and it reaches different spaces. I had a 12-year-old call me today to tell me he had a new job. I get 17-year-olds.
He had a job?
Got a job at 12.
Wow.
The young man
What was he doing?
Named Navante. He got a job working, and he's a straight A student.
I love that.
So his mother listens to the show. He grew up listening to the show, and they came to New York, and we invited them to the show. They came to the New York studios, and I became an uncle to him. So
I love that.
He calls me about his report card, and he called the show to let us
Mentor.
know he's working at a barbershop every 4 days a week, making $20 a day.
That's incredible. He's making more than me.
Yeah, yo, you didn't make nothing
on streaming.
You just here now, bro. You just every time you move, it costs you money. So, Joe, welcome back to the show, man. Joloni is here.
Thank you for having me back.
Now, this next young lady I saw at the event at the Garage Series, but I saw her already on the radar, and I saw her spitting some Rotation was a song.
Yes, Rotation.
She was spitting bars from her song Rotation. Mike Muse, she had this T-shirt on.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, I'm trying to read the T-shirt, E. I was like, she got bars because the thing is you got presence and you got confidence in how you present yourself. And I will admit it was new to me. And I was listening to some of the things you were rapping about, and I was like, yo, she's like a a male version of us. You know, the things you were singing about, and I thought it was an interesting perspective hearing from you. But I want to welcome you to the show for the first time.
Thank you.
Give it up for the one and
having
only
me.
Autumn Paige.
What's up, Autumn?
Autumn Paige.
Yeah.
So we got Tracy is in New York.
What up,
now.
Tracy?
The whole team is in New York.
What's up,
You know,
E?
Mike
What's up,
Muse is
Leone?
here with us. You know, come on,
Mike
man.
Muse.
Tracy, well, you saw Joe perform the other day on Thursday, man. I know everybody wasn't familiar, but what was your first impression?
Charisma. That was my
I
first
love that.
impression.
Charisma.
Yeah. That was the word that just kept, I don't know, standing out to me. And I spoke with Joe afterwards and I told him how I loved how he took full reins of his story. You know, sometimes when it comes to a showcasing, you're going to be very nervous and that makes sense, right? And in some cases, as you should be, because you're just getting started
Right.
and a core memory is starting to settle into place. However, you understood either intentionally or subconsciously that your personality, the makings of Joloni as a human, is just as important as your artistry. They go hand in hand. They inform each other. And so at the Garage Series, Citizens, for those who were not there, not only did we get to experience like this very kind of sultry, like, oh, turn the lights down low type of vibe
Yes,
that Joe
ma'am.
had, but we also got to learn a lot about his character. And I felt that really drew us in to the point where we would immediately become invested in your journey. So, yeah, and all of that started with the
Thank you.
charisma. Absolutely.
Wow.
Thank you. Wow. That's beautiful.
Can I say something to that, Tracy? That was beautiful because at JBR, of course, the mission is to sign talented artists who deserve a platform and who deserve autonomy of their creative statement and all that. But what you just said, Tracy, is like paramount above all of that, because you could be a dope artist, you can have bars, you can have a dope voice, you can play instruments, but if you're a garbage human being, it's just like you're
Boring, lame.
you become another cancer in the industry.
For sure.
You know,
Absolutely.
you become another tumor.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I am so proud that you just said what you said. Sitting next to Autumn, sitting next to Joe, the first JBR artist.
JBR.
These
JBR
people,
artists.
these people are not only, as you said, Tracy, just so talented, so much charisma, but just good humans who are focused and resilient and in their heart just good. So I mean that's really what
you.
JBR is about.
Love it, man. Come
Yeah.
on, man. JBR.
JBR.
So this is the introduction of Eric Benét and this platform JBR.
Yeah.
JBR Creative Group. What is this for the world to know? In the same way that Berry Gordy introduced Motown to the world,
Wow.
right?
Yes,
All right,
sir, man. Come on,
Come
speak
on,
it.
Mo. In the same way that
right.
Russell Simmons
right.
Come
introduced
on.
Def Jam to the world.
Come on.
In the same way that L.A. Reid and Babyface introduced LaFace Records to the world, we have JBR.
We got JBR for
right.
real.
That's great.
And what does that stand for?
JBR stands for Just Be Real. No, but
Have you ever said that before?
Right, that was
That was a good one.
That was
I
actually
think did I get that from Maximilian?
Max,
yeah.
you gave him that?
Yeah.
That's dope.
So JBR, well, it does stand for Just Be Real, but it's really for Jordan Ball, and the last R is I don't know if he's our silent partner who probably would prefer to not be named, who basically is doing this.
We call him Mr. R.
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah,
R?
yeah.
Rich.
Mr. R. So Jordan is my full name. A lot of people don't know Eric Benét. Benét is my middle name actually. So Eric Benét Jordan, and B, the Ball is for that lady over there, Allison Ball,
Allison Ball.
who gave me my first and second record deal. She signed me to Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then R is Mr.
Mr. R.
Mr. Revenue. Mr. Revenue.
Mr.
We'll call him
Revenue.
Mr. Revenue.
I love it. And then Allison Ball is a pillar, You know, you,
Come on.
Amen.
Speak it.
You have been responsible for the success of a lot of artists.
So many.
So many
Producers, artists,
writers, the whole nine. I know this because I was there.
Right.
You know, so when I saw Allison the other day, it was like I felt like I was in a fucking time warp. Or something.
And then you see Allison and Eric together.
You see you two together, and I'm like, yeah, this works. So today, then we will open up the phone lines 888-742-3345. It's an introduction to JBR Creative Group and their outstanding artists. Let's start with Autumn Paige. Welcome to the show, Autumn Paige.
Thank you again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What, are you from Cleveland? You from New York? You live? What's your story, Autumn?
I'm kind of from all over the place. I was born in New York. I moved when I was 7 to Cleveland after the economy dropped. That's where my family is originally from. So most of my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, they all live out there. I spent most of my life growing up there. Growing up in the church is really where I started in music. I also loved musical theater, so I was a little shy on the acting side, but I could sing. So I would do a lot of stage managing, so giving all the cues behind the scenes, and then I'd hop on stage, do a solo, hop back off stage. I also was a part of the costuming and stuff too. And then my senior year of high school, I moved across the country to Texas.
By choice, or were you following something?
Yeah. My father got a job at the University of Houston, Victoria campus.
Okay.
So he moved to a very small town called Victoria in Texas.
And then you felt smothered and sheltered there. You felt, you know how that is. You go to the small town. It's like I'm further and further away from my dreams.
Yes, and honestly, I wasn't even thinking about music at the time. I was actually in college for fashion merchandising.
Okay.
And I ended up being in my dorm room with some friends, and we were doing karaoke, and they were like, looked at me and they were like, wait, Autumn, you can sing. And I was like, wait, I can. And I got excited about it. And I was like, wait, I'm going to go write a song. And I was like, okay. And COVID hit. And we all had to leave school. And so at this point, now I'm sitting at my parents' house, and I don't really have the freedom that I had before, living in the dorms and, you know, being on my own. And so I got hit by a car in high school, and I ended up getting a check for that.
Wait, stop. You just threw that out there.
She really did.
Run over by a truck, and then
Find a car or something. Give us something.
Yeah, so look.
Wait, how do you get hit by a car at a young adult age?
that's that resilience I was talking about.
Oh my God.
So I was at my high school, and I was like walking to the cars, and I was like, you know how a parking lot is set up? Like you have the rows of cars, you got the little in between where you kind of go around. So I was in that in between part, and then there are the cars. I was probably literally this far away from the cars, and all of a sudden in the corner of my eye I see this car coming around the corner, and like they're going fast, and in my head I'm like,
Don't stop.
I'm like, they're gonna stop. So I turn and I go like this, and I'm like, hello, I'm right here. Boom, hit me straight on. I roll over top the car.
Wait,
My
Autumn was in the
knee-
Georgia Porgy video.
Whoever pressed that car horn noise is a mess. An
And it was a pretty traumatic experience. I'm not gonna lie. My knee was literally on the other side of my leg. They had to pop it back in place. But anyways, point is, during this time
You got a bag.
when COVID hit, I got a little bit of a bag, and I was able to say, okay, I'm going to move to Houston, and I'm going to try to pursue music.
That's
from the bag.
From the bag.
So that had nothing to do with the song Baggage.
I mean, it could. I mean, we all got trauma that we got to get rid of, you know.
I'm here all day, y'all. I'm here all day. So you was able to take that money, invest into yourself,
Yes,
move to Houston, and pursue the singing.
I tried.
Okay.
I tried. Houston, I had a hard time figuring out how to even get into a studio. So the studio that I was at was Rap A Lot, which they don't really do R&B.
Yeah, that's true.
So like I'd be
They rap
hanging
a lot.
out.
Devin the dude, you know, the dude, they rap a lot.
They do. So yeah, so I'd be hanging out at Rap A Lot and just trying to figure out, you know, I'd still link up with producers, find beats on YouTube, but I ended up working in the bottle service industry.
Okay.
And I got a little sidetracked because I was making so much money, and I'd be working these late hours from like 7 p.m. to like 5 a.m.
What would be a good night, a good day in bottle service?
I think the most I ever made was probably like $1,500.
God damn.
Not even stripping.
I wish I was a hot girl.
No, we made
so
more
often.
than the strippers.
I know, right?
The strippers would actually be mad. Like, they would have bad nights, and they'd be looking at us like, dang, I ain't making no. And I'd be like, girl, I'm making money. I don't know about you.
Wow.
I mean, I worked, it was COVID. It was Houston. We were wide open. So football teams would come. Basketball teams would come. So you would have some pretty big people in these. You know, they'd be in. I worked at Onyx, which is a strip club.
Oh yeah,
Onyx. We know what Onyx is.
So as a
Thank you for
waitress,
clarification.
I have no idea.
so I mean, you know,
What's that?
this
Tell me
is
more.
I think it's a
packed wall
stone.
to wall. You know, everybody's flying in from everywhere. So
Yeah.
it was a time where I kind of got lost. And so what really started my journey on music was the governor passed a law that you couldn't be under 21 working at a strip club. And so I lost my job same day.
Fascists.
Wow.
Yeah, so lost my job.
So
and
you got fired from Onyx.
I was sitting at home and I was just like, what am I going to do? My lease was up. I just got approved for an apartment that was more than the apartment I was paying for. Just totaled my BMW. And I was trying to figure out what am I going to do? So I put on gospel music because I come from the church and it always calms me down. It always helps me get my thoughts in order. And it ended, it just was playing. And all of a sudden this sermon from Tyler Perry comes on and he's like,
Tyler Perry gives sermons?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Perry
He's a writer,
is a
bro.
sermon.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know he gave sermons.
I
mean,
was
I've seen the
surprised
movies.
myself.
I've seen the movies. I never heard a sermon. I never heard the
Yeah.
scriptures.
But you
from
heard a sermon in the movie?
Yeah.
He wrote it.
Yeah, I know. Right. Right. It's
I
like-
guess, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, man.
That's kind of how that works, huh?
Yeah, so his sermon came on and he was just like, what's your purpose? And I was like, dang, I came here to make music and I've been out here half naked in these clubs.
Yeah.
Like, this is not what I came here for. Like, yeah, the money's good and all, but I can't, like, keep doing this. So
Yeah.
I made a call to a friend and he lived in LA. I said, I got no money. I got like $70 in my pocket. I could book a ticket to LA. Can I come stay on your couch, come find a job and figure it out so I can do music? And he's like, yeah, come, I got you. So I move all my stuff to my parents' house and I take a flight to LA. And yeah, I came out here with nothing. I started doing music videos. I was in my first music video, I think, was DDG.
Shout out to DDG.
Yes.
We got some stuff going on, but
He do.
besides that, you know.
He was really nice though. He was
He's been on the show, so you know.
Some stuff is an
Yes.
interesting way to phrase it.
You know,
I actually had some heels on, and they had like these are they RTVs? What are the little four wheelers? Yeah, and he literally put me on his back and carried me down to them because I couldn't like walk in the the hills and stuff. He was very nice though. But yeah, so that's kind of where it all started for me was getting in music videos, getting around other artists and trying to figure out what was going on. And I actually started going to all of my favorite artists' Instagrams and look at who they're following, who they're working with, what producers they're working with, who have them tagged in pictures. I'd follow them. I'd like every single one of their pictures and then I'd send them a DM. And I'd just be trying to work with everybody that I could work with. And that's kind of really where it all started for me.
What a motherfucking story for your ass right there, boy.
And that's just the
what
first
I love about
chapter.
that's you're right. That's just the first chapter. But what I love about that story is it's like everybody who is in a position, you, me, Allison, we all have our version of that story.
Right.
That is
And
true.
I love hearing that story.
Yeah,
it's
man.
like, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because I did my whole in Milwaukee, single dad, hopped in my my 1979 Datsun, drove across the country, stayed at one of Allison. Allison was balling back then.
Yeah.
Allison
still
Ball
balling.
was balling.
Yeah, Allison Ball was balling. She had like
She had an expense account.
she had just like a condo in Westwood she wasn't using with her Warner Brothers
Rich.
executive ass.
Yeah.
And I was like, Allison, can I just crash? And so we all got those stories. It's like Allison had my back forever.
Let's talk about these stories. I want you to get to know Eric Benét even more, okay? I want you to get to know my man Joloni right here even more. And I want you to get to know Paige even more. I want to play the song Baggage.
Woo!
Is that okay?
Let's do it.
All right. This is
course.
Paige. 888 citizens 742-3345. Paige right there, man. Give her a big round of applause.
She just said something really interesting.
What'd she say?
What'd you say?
I was saying that shout out Apple Music because they put Baggage on the Brown Sugar Radio station, and I was listening to it just to hear who my song is in with, and like every song that came on like sounded the same.
Yeah.
And then Baggage came on, and I was like,
Sounded
okay,
like
I
something
feel
else.
really good about this
Yeah.
because it doesn't sound like anything else that I've heard.
That's
on
something
here.
to be
They
proud
call that
of.
a radio break.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
sir.
a radio break. That's what they call that.
And
That's
I
dope.
was pretty proud of it.
Yeah, you should
for
be.
you.
I saw you on. You're very versatile. Baggage is to me. I took that as finding real love and somebody to help erase the anxieties in your life. Right.
Yes,
It
yes.
is.
That's
Yeah.
how it came about. I was in the studio with my producer, and I met this guy.
Is that Emil?
Emil, yes.
Emil, what up, Emil?
Shout out
Yes,
Emil.
shout out Emil.
All right.
And he's really who believes in me first and foremost, and,
That's a good
really. At first, he wasn't messing with me. He was like, I was in his DMs like, let's work, and he was like,
the
girl,
art-
I'm too busy for you.
He really is too busy
Yeah.
in general.
He is very
Now
busy.
he is other than Allison and I, he is like the biggest like Autumn supporter. He is
Yeah.
and
Emil.
Emil
Emil.
Gantos.
Yeah.
Because Autumn is that type of person, that type of artist where she is just so driven, and she like creatively she has it all in her head, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna get with this stylist and this is like
Look at
her father was like, that was his thing. He was like
Yeah,
this
he's a
brilliant
stylist.
stylist,
Okay.
Yeah.
Hollywood stylist, right?
Uh-huh.
And so she definitely got that gene.
I love it, man. And when I saw you at the Garage Series the other day, I took note that she's ready.
Yeah.
I don't know what she was ready for, but
Yeah,
she was ready.
she got that.
What's
feel. She got that
interesting
vibe.
is-
like she's ready. Yep.
So I'm just meeting you.
Uh-huh.
And so when you first meet you, the outward presence is a statement unto itself, right? You're very colorful, right? Like the
Yes,
green
very.
hair, the red leather jacket,
Yeah.
the cropped shirt. And then the story matches what you look on the outside. And so I kept listening to, because I've seen it before. I've seen the smoke and mirrors, right? And so I kept listening to see if the music was going to match the story and if it was going to match the look. And your music actually does
Oh, thank
match
you. That means
both.
so much.
That's dope.
And what I enjoy about this song is that it's refreshing. And so I'm frustrated right now within the music business that it all sounds very similar in one
Come
note
on,
and
Yes,
monotone.
yes.
Talk about it.
It does.
And no one opens up their mouth when
Come
they
on.
actually sing their vocal performance.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about that song is I feel like that could be played on multiple formats
Exactly.
of radio.
Yes,
And
yeah.
I think that as we look to expand R&B, as we look to expand vocal performances, I think that that's needed, the versatility and
absolutely.
a feeling, right? And I'm known for not knowing words, but for me, it's about a vibe and the
Yeah.
melody.
You and
Absolutely.
Allison Ball
You,
both.
you are known for not knowing words. You just said all that so eloquently, bro.
Words of songs, lyrics
Oh,
of songs.
I see.
Sorry.
Oh, I got what you
yeah,
meant. I got what you meant.
yeah.
Likes to dance.
Yeah.
There's a song, but and you match that. So congratulations.
thank
Now I'm
you.
looking forward to hearing your other
Yeah.
stuff now.
Well, she got a song called Rotation that's kind of opposite of Baggage.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
so
there we go.
there's a story there. There's a story. So where Baggage comes into play,
Talk about
it's
it.
about me meeting this guy, and this guy is like, I'm ready to be in a relationship,
Yeah.
and I am not in a place where I am probably ready to be in a relationship. So it's about getting rid of that baggage of like people, but also habits and, things that you do that you can't do when you're in a relationship,
Yeah.
as well as trauma from past relationships or talking stages or situationships. And so it's about when you get rid of all that and you're with this person and then they mess it up. And now I'm back to my old ways, and I'm a little toxic.
Savage.
The Rotation talks
Yeah.
about, listen, we can have I'm paraphrasing.
She got Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky.
I got Ronnie.
You don't gotta
Don't
paraphrase,
don't
yeah.
get caught. Thank you. Don't
I
get
got
caught
you.
up on this love I'm
Yeah.
giving you. Because that's all it is. It's sex. I got Ronnie.
it.
I got Bobby.
Yep.
And
I got
Ricky.
Ricky. And I got Mike.
Yeah.
Right. And they're all waiting for me.
That's right.
And I'm not. And I'm unapologetic for it.
Yeah, I mean,
Return of the Max.
Yeah.
sometimes you take it there. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
But they
snooze,
say
you lose.
women can't. They say, not me. They say women can't be sexual without having a emotional attachment.
Oh,
A residual emotional
I
attachment.
disagree. I have definitely been in situations where I personally like older men. Like that's what I like.
Hello.
And so there were some men that I was messing with a few years ago that are like, to me, I'm 24. So these men are like 38, 40.
Oh, shit.
Geriatric.
Wow. Opposite.
And you know, so for me, like I would meet with them and like they gave father, they gave dad, and that's not what I would want in a relationship. So to me, I had fun in, you know, the bedroom, you know, and that's what it was. I didn't see myself taking it out of that. And I think that there's a double standard there too, because I was having a conversation with somebody, and it's funny because it's like, I even had some blogs post about rotation, and a lot of the comments were like, no, you can't do that. The only way that you could do that is if you're a hoe. And it's like, so men can do it, but if a woman does it, it's not right. Like,
Yeah.
Hoe is such a relative term.
Also, men are hoes.
Yeah.
Right.
That
They're
part.
hoes too.
right.
Yeah.
So what's the difference?
Well, listen. I'm glad Joe, intervened into this conversation, and thank you, Autumn, for breaking that down the way you see the world. And then Joe, you follow up with men are hoes.
They can be.
Yeah, and when I listen to your song Discipline,
Don't you dare.
Oh, discipline.
when I
Dare.
talk about dictionary, you kind of lose control in that song. And you
Yeah.
talk about going 4 rounds in one night. What does that mean exactly?
That's
I remember those days.
It's pretty on the nose.
Yo,
What were you confused about?
I don't know, man. We play dominoes.
I don't
you know,
box. Yeah, I'm not a fighter.
Yeah,
It's
that's
definitely a love song.
Bro, is that hyperbole or that's just that's?
Sway, are you asking me how many rounds in a row I can really go
No,
in
I'm
real
asking
life?
you what is the lyric? What's behind the lyrics that you wrote?
Well, here's
in
the thing.
Discipline.
I wrote that song with my dude Felly the voice
Felly
out of
the
Atlanta.
voice.
Okay, all
He
right.
is one of the most incredible songwriters alive. We're gonna remember that name for a long time. I promise
Yes.
you.
Okay.
And how our writing sessions kind of go is because I can do the full scope in the studio,
Right.
but giving up control of certain aspects and collaborating has been the most inspiring thing for me, because I've been with this brain my whole life. I know the lyrics I can write. I know the melodies and the choruses and the chords I could come up with. But pulling and creating that with somebody else has been my favorite part of this JBR journey.
That's when you grow.
Yeah, and it's also when you get your best work. I mean, and then at the end of the day, even if Felly and I wrote the same song, it wouldn't do the same thing for me to not have his name attached and to not have his relationship. So how he and I's songwriting sessions kind of go is because he's kind of like a freestyler. So I'll come in and I give him meaty breadcrumbs. Like I give him something really cool to work with, and Discipline. I mean, I could say it on here because it's not real radio, but I'm saying Discipline the whole song for sure.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Discipline?
Yeah,
And
Discipline.
this
As in like
bad
penis?
bad Discipline. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, this is way better than what you may see as real radio.
No, I prefer this. I prefer
was
this.
waiting for that comeback. I was like, okay, Sway's letting that
I
one
prefer
ride.
this. I prefer this
This
because
is realer radio.
when I say real radio, I mean like with
terrestrial,
rules and regulations where I got
You
to
mean
be
uncensored. You mean
super Christian. Yeah.
It's 75 degrees
Sure.
outside, and that radio.
Here you are with DJ.
What the fuck is going on, Eric?
I don't know,
Benét
I
is on
love
it.
Eric. Man.
I'm like
With
a
such good
Tourette's
energy.
Robin Williams or something sometimes.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, so that one came from a conversation with Felly where I was like, yeah, man, I'm just, I'm hooking up with somebody I'm not supposed to, and we're trying to figure out if we need to cut this off or we can keep figuring it out. And I was like, yeah, man, I just got some bad Discipline right now. And he was like, did you just say Discipline? Like dick discipline? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, please let us write that song. And so the song was born. He was trying to say 4 times in a week, and I was like, Felly, ain't nothing impressive about that.
Wow. Damn. Okay, young guy.
So-
4 times. Wow.
Motherfucker.
I said,
4 times in a
we
night.
got to go 4 in a night or nothing. And he was like, all
You'll learn.
right, sure.
You'll learn to pace that shit out eventually. There you go.
Let's get
Or
like
not.
Quality
Or not.
over quantity, homie.
I
You
don't
don't
even
learn
know
about that.
Right.
God willing, I don't have to learn anything else than what I already know.
Sounds like a
Pray my
youngin',
health.
right?
Yeah.
Pray my health stays up.
Youth
Ow.
is wasted
on
on.
the youth, man. This guy. You know, when you perform, one of the things I think you take pleasure in surprising an audience.
Yeah,
because
Absolutely.
Yeah.
the Garage Series audience, because this was me. I added Joe on the bill, so it was
And credit to you, you never even saw me perform.
I did.
You know, you called me broke in the opening with no problem because I was in coach and we had to walk past you.
I did.
But I'll call you. I'm gonna get you back.
Oh my!
I'm gonna get you back right now because I had both me and Ro James had you on a list for the Beacon, and you missed both of our sets. So you know what? It is what it is.
He got me back. That's it.
Yeah.
Got him. But I was there.
And to your credit, you didn't even see me perform, but were willing to have me come be on your platform, which was, the trust was amazing. I was so nervous with that level of respect and trust from basically strangers, for you to just off the company I keep believe that I was going to show up and do you justice. I appreciate that.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's what you said. Like you surprise people. And that's one of the things about Joe when you see him live. It's just like, okay, the record sounds dope, whatever. Anybody can sound dope on a record. But then you see this guy not only vocally killing it live, blowing everybody away, but then he'll be like, let me pick up this guitar and play the next song on the guitar. And he'll be at the keyboard playing the next. So it's like he is the real damn deal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it is in you, what Tracy said, you definitely have the charisma, but I will say sometimes you could see a lot about a person by the company they keep.
Boom.
And when I saw Eric May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, when
That's
we was
right.
partying at some bar.
That's right.
That shit was off the chain.
Yeah, you couldn't even walk in that bar.
Damn.
Y'all,
The
hey.
Valley
Where
was
you-
popping.
where you guys at? Yeah.
It's,
So the name
it's across the street from Ty Show.
It's in the Valley on Ventura.
Casita. What's the name of that?
I can't to Casita.
Oh, they're gonna kill me.
Ray's one of the owners.
Yeah, the Boulevard. They on Boulevard Cafe. They on
Boulevard.
Ty Show, and then they got the
Yamashiro,
But
and this one.
That place you couldn't walk.
And he talked about you.
Yeah, I was like, we gotta get Joe on it.
Gotta get Joe
See,
on the show.
I'm thinking about y'all all the time.
I never doubt that. I never doubt that.
But I want to play one of Joe's songs. What we got, DB?
We got Joloni on Discipline right now.
Let's do it. All right, and we're gonna come back, man.
Hey.
This is Discipline. Yeah. Eric, you want to talk on that? You want to speak to that?
No, he's good.
I'm gonna change the subject right now.
I love it, man. Hey, man, that's Joloni. Give that man a round of applause, too.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you did. My auntie Katie, Diane, Kat, these are people who came up in the Black Power movement, that post-civil rights, Black Power movement, Afros, Isaac Hayes to come up. My music tutelage comes from
the realness.
The realness comes from the music that they played.
Exactly.
I fell asleep to this music, right? And when you performed last week, I invited them. They had no idea what they were walking into.
Right.
And when you performed last week, they looked like teeny boppers, like it was Happy Days all over again.
That's the barometer. If you can get them, your people that go all the way back, that's the barometer. That's like when you walk into a Chinese restaurant. It's like, man, I don't see no Chinese people in here. I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, right.
It's like if you get like the old heads, like the aunties who can look at somebody like Joe and be like, "That's the truth right there."
Yeah, that's it.
Old
Just
heads
like
know
that.
music.
Yeah, all they know
That's
is
all they
music.
know.
Old heads
All
know
they know.
music, and that was my first time hearing Joe's performance.
You were there?
No, I'm talking about just now.
Oh.
But I know it's a play on words, but just taking the word discipline, you actually use vocal discipline and knowing when to have restraint, because it sounds like you have range, and it sounds like you can run your butt off.
Oh,
It
he
sounds
couple
truly can.
things.
but it feels like you know when to use it and when not to use it. And I think that's important.
I bet-
Sometimes.
Absolutely.
Are you asking him for a cappella? Is this an
No.
indirect?
Ooh.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm a
Oh,
plus
Mike, you
one that
slick,
ass.
Mike, I couldn't even see that coming, Joe. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it
I
up
could
front.
tell
What
he
time it
was
is?
doing some restraint in that song.
If Joe does it, that don't mean I'm doing it, because my voice
I
at
was about
what
to
is
say-
it? 8:00 right now.
Yeah, I was about to say R&B before noon is
Doesn't
a real
work.
bitch.
You
Yeah.
feel that way too, Otto?
I do. I feel like in the morning you got a deeper, more raspier.
I could give you this one. You'll never find.
Yes, exactly.
You'll never find
a love like mine.
love like mine. You keep on searching.
That's as much of that song as I know, honestly.
You got him, Mike.
Yeah.
Way to go, Mike.
Listen, I do my job.
You got it.
I'm gonna come to you in a second, Eric. You did wear this. Shout out to the guys on the radar, man. Those are my guys over there. They got an amazing platform, and I did see you do the rotation.
Killed it.
To that, you killed that, and you was you just ready. You just seemed ready. That's what comes to mind.
That's exactly what comes to mind.
Yeah. Right? Ready. Yeah. What does your T-shirt say, though?
Wait, I got a
T-shirt.
Something about good pussy. That's why I act like that.
It's like my pussy's so good that's why I can act like that or something like that. Like,
come in the show with that right there, man. God damn. You don't even know what the shirt said?
You can't say things about that.
Yeah, it's like my pussy's so good that I can act the way I act.
Hey, that's
and it's true because I'm a brat, and I get everything I want.
Hey, I believe
she
that.
She did not blink when she said
nodding. Tracy, did you see that?
She was dead ass. Yo, that pierced me all the way in New York.
Yeah.
I see you, Autumn. I see you, honey.
Yep. That's that confidence.
I would walk around with that kind of confidence. That's Joe's walking around like that too, man.
It is.
Well, different reasons. It's not because my pussy's so good.
It ain't?
I don't know. Four times
terrible.
in one night is pretty impressive for a 58-year-old. I'll tell you that.
It's lyrics, you guys. We're having fun.
All right. Hey, so this album, you featured a lot of amazing women on the Cold Star album.
Yes.
Right, Eric?
It was an amazing, incredible process. It was just like Allison had the crazy idea to do it, and then it wasn't easy to choreograph the whole thing and pull it together. But once we got to the finish line, we just kind of looked back and went, we did that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, like everybody, there was something, that Allison said early on, because obviously you make a short list of everybody you want on the record, and me being an artist and a creative person, my mind might go to, oh man, but what if we can't get them? And Allison would be like, everybody who's supposed to be on this project is going to be on it. Mm-hmm. And now that we listening to it, it's truly magical. I mean, it's something that I'm sure, duets records have been done before, but the way that we've executed this, with not only representing who I am as an artist, a true representation of like my journey. Like there's songs on here that I've written and produced, with my boy Randy Amato, where it's like, okay, that's some old school Eric Benét right there. But we also reached out to these other producers and other songwriters like Felly the Voice, like DJ Camper, like Tony Dixon, and added this other element that I'm just incredibly profoundly proud of this project.
Yeah,
that's great.
I'm happy for you to consider all that you do, all that you've done, all the accolades you receive, and to still be excited like you a new artist right now, man.
Yeah.
You that's it. Yeah. You just said it right there, Sway. It's like the thing, okay, not to toot my own horn, but
toot
the horn about to get tooted in 3,
Toot it and boot it.
1. People say I look good for my age, right?
Yeah.
Which is true.
Yeah.
But
Come on.
But I will say I did just notice the readers hanging from the jacket right there, and that's hilarious.
It's still AARP. It just looks sexy.
That's some shit if I ever seen it. You look good. You look good, but playing trombone, trying to read the phone.
Hey, my AAR stand.
No.
AARP stand.
Keep going.
Hey, real proper.
Toot it. You look great.
But basically, people will say I look good for my age, and it has to do with what you just said. It's like when you immerse yourself in what you love, then, that's part of it. That's a big part of it. You immerse yourself in what you love and your energy. And I love making music. I love reaching out to new artists. I love supporting artists. The magic of the creativity doesn't go away. So I can be just as excited about this new project as I was on my first solo one, True to Myself. It's like, that's the magic of it.
I love it, man. Give it up for Eric Benét, man. Give it up for Autumn Paige. Give it up for Joloni.
Joloni.
JBR Creative Group right here.
That's right.
Give it up for Allison.
Allison.
Give it up for Max. Give it up for Brian Sampson.
Yes, sir.
I like that, man. And this is just an introductory, but I'd love to have y'all come up again and we'll do something where it'll be performance.
Yeah, let's do
based.
something
Yeah.
live
Do
with some
something, man.
performance.
Yeah.
Because, you
I
know,
like that.
I don't know if y'all noticed, but Tracy, Heather, and I make pretty good hosts for
Hey!
these kind of things.
Pretty good, huh?
I don't know if you noticed
Yeah.
that.
I have taken notice.
Hall of Fame item. I don't know if
Absolutely.
you read my wiki.
Toot it.
I'm tooting too, damn it, you know. But listen, I'm happy to have y'all on this platform.
Man.
Not only do I see it in your future, I see it now. Huge things are happening.
That means a lot
Absolutely.
coming from this guy right
It means,
here.
it
dog.
means everything,
Yeah,
man.
man,
Yeah.
and you know it's genuine. You know, I wouldn't say these things if it's gonna make me look wrong a year from now.
That's true. That's true.
Absolutely.
Facts.
Best believe that. Eric, I love you, man.
I love you too, bro.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you,
Keep
man.
going.
Thank you.
Adam, great to really sit down and talk with you.
Thank you for
Joe,
having me.
absolutely. We got more to do, Joe.
Oh, okay.
What we want to end with? What you got? What's my selections, Torch?
We got. Would you want to go, Joe, or what songs we got?
What you got, Eric?
We
You
got.
get both of us. Do Eric.
Why'd you do the if you're gonna do some Eric, do the Must Be, the Me and India
Yes,
region.
please. God, I love
Damn,
that
let's
record.
we'll look that up.
We got it.
We got it?
Got it.
Okay, we're going to end the show with that. And thank you to our crews, to our citizens that tune in. Don't forget, we got merch
Yes.
at BenRighteous.com. The T-shirts been selling out. Lonnie Light put some new T-shirts up, some new hoodies as well. Go to BenRighteous.com. Get your citizens T-shirts. Eric, you want to say something in closing?
Yo, JBR, we coming for real. We got the amazing artist, my new project, Eric Benét, the co-star. Yo, follow these artists.
I'm about
on
to say,
social-
can we drop our handle?
Yes,
Absolutely,
please
man.
follow them.
I am at Joloni Sings on all social media. That's Leone. Joloni Sings.
Follow that fool.
Yo,
Yes,
citizens,
please.
we need you to follow him. Let's do this.
Come
Crazy talented.
And mine is the THE, Autumn Like the Season, Paige, Paige.
Right there.
And you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok.
Yes, man, and she will not blink when she brags about herself.
Down the
At
barrel.
all, Tracy. I was like, and she was nodding while she was saying it to me. Yes,
That's how
Slade.
you know.
Yo, and then you can reach Eric Benét where?
Yo, follow me. My website, ericbenet.net, or just on Instagram at Eric Benét. If you see me on the street, just give me $5 and I'll sing something.
There it is,
Yo.
man. Come on, man. I love it, man.